ready, and welcome to Realty Connects Long Island. My name is Karin. I'm here with my co-host today, John Fitzgerald. Hopefully our other co-host will show up
He's
today.
on his way. Actually, Michael's doing a dedication for the new sports arena over at Stony Brook. So
oh, that's awesome.
He's over there. And
is he dedicating it? What is he doing?
He's dedicating it, yes. Well, we do support Stony Brook, and Michael's on the board of directors over there. So, you know, he's there for the dedication of the new sports arena. It's a fabulous arena. It's going to be beautiful. And, you know,
now,
we're
where is
very
that going to
excited
be?
about
Is it at the university?
Yes, right in the university grounds. Yeah.
Wow, we need
Beautiful.
another sports arena for sure, but
We
there's a lot.
definitely need it.
Definitely do.
Definitely do.
Today we have a great show. We have a good friend of mine, Mr. Rich Murdocco. He has a website called The Foggiest Idea. Actually, I was featured on The Foggiest 5.
Oh, right? Oh,
yeah.
I've been foggy for quite a while, so I
know.
should be on this.
Maybe we could clear things up a little bit
Okay.
with Rich here today. He's a writer on policy issues on Long Island, and I just love him to death, and I think that you guys will enjoy hearing about some things about Long Island today with Rich.
Yeah, I'm very excited
really
to hear
good.
more about Long Island since that's our
We're
business.
here.
That's our business. Yeah, so.
Okay, so we had some things that I wanted to remind everybody about, and that is to call or text in. Going right to John's phone, live, 516-702-5406. We're also going to talk about some community events. It seems that everybody really loved that.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit towards the end of the show, but I'm excited to start to talk to Rich about what's going on in his research and what he's doing here on Long
I
Island.
know. So let's get right to it.
Yeah,
Rich,
so-
tell us a little bit about...
Sum up Long Island. No.
Tell us all about Long Island.
Taxis, traffic, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Sewers.
Sewers.
Water.
Aquifers, fun stuff.
So it's nice to have you here again. You've
Thank you
been
for having me.
a guest on the Daily Blue a couple of times, and we enjoy here. Every time you're on, we learn something different. Especially because you've asked some pretty influential Long Islanders to write about what their issues are on Long Island.
Yes. Most recently, we featured former Nassau County Executive Tom Swazi and then his Eastern counterpart, former County Executive Steve Levy. And their answers, despite the differences between the two counties, basically converged and said the same things.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you came up with there.
A lot of it was cost. People were saying that the cost is just prohibitive to living in the region, to doing business, and now it's starting to impact. It's coming out of just the economic realm, and it's starting to kind of permeate through every other aspect of life on the island, from conducting business to even the real estate market.
Now, do you find that also?
We're finding actually the real estate market is quite good right now on Long Island. So I think what's happened is the consumers are starting to feel a little bit better, a little bit more at ease about the economy. Unemployment has gone down somewhat, so, and mortgage rates again just went down, so that's phenomenal. That, you know, there's still that affordability level with regard to mortgage rates. I know that some of the things that concern buyers, of course, the taxes on Long Island is always a major issue, and then probably in Suffolk County, the sewer system, which I know they're working on. But overall, we're finding the market to be quite good. And people are staying on Long Island. They love it. I mean, despite all the things that happen on Long Island, or as far as you know, economic issues, we have miles of beautiful beaches. We have a great place to live.
do.
You know,
The schools,
So
the
schools
still
are
a big draw,
phenomenal.
the education system, the principal driver of the cost, but people almost realize that there's an unwritten contract. When you move to a town like Smithtown, a mature suburb, they don't have much room to expand their industrial base or their commercial base, but what they have is they have that suburban way of life, and unfortunately there is a cost to it, but people understand that going into this market, and that's a positive thing. And to just build off of your point is that the market activity has gone up, prices have gone up, because there is a demand for what this region has to offer.
Wow. So you've been able to hear from a lot of different people and tell the public, you know, what their point of view is.
Yes.
Based on, what are the questions in the Foggiest 5 that you ask people to?
One of my favorite is, what have you seen change over the course of your career? And
Right.
for people who've been in the public space for about 30, 40 years, there's a big change, because as Long Island grew and developed and built those homes, built those commercial strips, built those highways, the a lot of it has changed from farming communities to suburbia we know today.
So I have to ask you, John, because Michael would love to say that you've probably seen a lot of change in your time on Long Island.
started
But
on
I'm going
me?
to take
Yeah,
your
yeah,
question,
sure,
and
sure.
hopefully John can be one of your Foggiest
I've
Five.
seen a
but-
ton of change. I mean, I started selling real estate when it was just dirt. Now there's houses on it. So I've seen Long Island change quite a bit from the farms. And, you know, you would drive down the street and there would be a house and then 3 or 4 or 5 vacant lots and then another house, you know.
Right.
So it has changed dramatically. But what I still love is, this is somebody
Here we go.
calling in. This is
Okay.
great. So we'll
This
take
is
that
great.
question. I'm going to turn that off, and that
Yeah.
question will go to voicemail, and then our producers will put it on a screen for us later.
That's great.
So I've seen a lot of change in the market, but I've seen a lot of great changes lately in the market.
Yeah.
I've seen some wonderful activity going on in the marketplace, and people are loving the Long Island economy the way it is right now and the way it's turned out. And I have a question for Rich with regard to that is, what I think we're lacking in is still some affordable housing. And now a lot of our retirees don't really want to go and leave Long Island. So they're looking for communities, the 55 and older communities, which I understand now they're trying to lower the rates on, the age bracket on those communities as to when they can call them, you know, senior communities. And maybe you can help us a little bit on that, and what's the thought process, what's going on with that?
In the 60s, when they developed a lot of these towns, especially towns like Smithtown, Islip, and Brookhaven, a lot of these multifamily senior developments, they didn't want them. There's a lot of, not in my backyard, but as the populace has aged, tempers have gone down, and now municipalities are approving the building permits for these developments. So now we're seeing on a lot of pocket lots, on kind of the spots where they place them are interesting because that's all that's really left. The buildable land on the island is becoming increasingly scarce. You're seeing a lot more of these retirement homes because they're anticipating the future need. We are living longer. We are maintaining higher quality of life longer as we age, and so there is a marked demand. A 3-bedroom house in Dix Hills isn't going to be useful for 2 empty nesters.
Correct. Yeah.
So-
Square footage too big, the up and down the stairs, and so
Yeah,
on.
and then
so
the
forth.
cost of even running and heating in the winter, and the overhead is it's too large for aging couples. So these developments have fit a need. The question, of course, is the placement and if all these other planning tenants, but it's a positive trend overall.
And as far as on top of that, do you see more of a design for affordable housing? And for us, affordable housing is probably in the $250,000 price range. Do you see more of that as a trend coming?
Affordable housing is interesting because it depends on who spearheads it and how it integrates into the community. If they do it almost, quote, the right way, where they just integrate it in fully and people don't realize exactly, quote, what it is, it's a little easier to build. Overall, trends have been rising, but they've maintained a steady angle there.
Okay. So and here he is.
Wow.
Hello there.
Hello, Michael, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Michael.
Good to see you.
How'd the dedication go?
Fantastic.
Okay, we can't wait to hear it.
Fantastic. I don't want to.
No,
Oh, well.
we're just
Nice of
talking
you to join
about senior housing and affordable housing on Long Island, what the trends are and what the market will bear as far as that goes, and what the politicians are approving or what their thoughts on it as far as what they want to see.
Yeah.
You know.
They overall policymakers, based on my research, they are more open-minded to it than ever because, to be frank, there's not enough room to build any more single-family housing.
Yeah,
So-
is there a choice? I mean,
No, there really is none. That's why multifamily permits have gone up almost 18% since 1989 because they got to build something somewhere. That's just
Right.
how development works on the island. They're coming on board and they're saying, let's do multifamily. And if it's age restricted, even better, because that gets the school districts on board.
Excellent.
So we've been talking a little bit about the Long Island economy, and also there's a site that Rich has started that's getting some pretty good traffic, the Foggiest Idea. And I love that you tackle a lot of the issues on Long Island, but you also, he has a lot of different people answer a lot of different questions. So what's the difference between when you speak to somebody that lives on Long Island? I'm wondering what the difference between the answers are from a business perspective to a politician.
Politician takes a more broad scope with their answers. They want to cover almost every base within a 5.
Every base or every voter?
Yeah. You could say that. And
So much nicer than we would have said.
they want to please everyone and bring in, basically the scope of their answers is much more wide-reaching. Business owners focus basically solely on cost because that's their bottom line, that's their livelihood. A politician has the time to ponder the environmental aspects, the
They're looking at
socioeconomic.
yield. Builders
Yeah.
are looking at yield.
They're looking at yield to dollar ratio. And when you're talking to strictly a small business owner who has a storefront like Northport or something, they're just saying basically that there's overregulation and that there's too many taxes and the state's not doing much, which that's up for debate, and that's one
That's
of.
from their point of view.
That's
Yeah.
from their point of view, right?
So that's one of the
I say,
things.
do you find that on that point, that the political side of it and the business side of it, based on the current economy in that arena, that they're starting to try to work a little more together to keep the downtowns and those areas?
Yes, and that's been a
vibrant?
trend since the first regional plan for Nassau and Suffolk County drafted, I think in 1965, don't quote me on the year. They focused on clustering development. It was called clusters, corridors, and centers. They wanted to cluster the development in the downtowns, but there just wasn't the public will to really do it. So now, with the push towards multifamily development, so fast forward from the 60s, suburbia is everywhere, there's no more Hempstead Plains, so now they're like, well, where are we going to build?
Right.
They dust off the plain. Oh, the downtowns. So
Go
now,
back to what Hempstead was.
yeah,
Yeah,
When I was
originally
a
what they
kid,
built the
It was
communities
mixed
on.
use. You had people there during the day, you had people there during the night.
the smart growth movement. One of the positive things coming from it is that they've placed growth with where it needs to be. Now, one of the offshoots of that is sometimes they create a downtown without much need of a downtown. For example, in like Yaphank, they could do that. But for an area like Patchogue, they've clustered the growth, the train station's there,
Yeah.
and we're seeing a rise in apartments, we're seeing a rise in walkability and everything else. Those are all very positive things for the region.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So to answer back to your question, yes, business owners and politicians have came together and are starting to hash out a patchwork vision, not comprehensive regional yet, we're not there yet, but the idea is starting to gain traction.
Well, that's good. That's a big difference than 15, 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
it is. It really is. When they used to just build flag lots. And
Yeah, exactly. And
well,
this is
that-
kind of what they're doing in Ronkonkoma too, with this new hub built
Yeah.
around the train station
Yeah.
and, yeah.
And that hub has been in the works since the 60s. And then when they electrified the main line in 1988, they wanted to kind of center the development, but the public will nor the money was there. And it's great to see, after learning about this stuff in school, seeing it translate from paper to reality, which
Yeah.
is so rare in this region.
It's true. So, what is one of the, tell us, with all the people that have written in and all the information that you have studied about Long Island and you've taken in, what's one of the most interesting facts about where we live?
One of the most interesting facts I would say is that there's 996,000 housing units on the island. And when you translate that to the space, the geographic space of the region, it's like it kind of brings it back down that out of those 996,000 housing units, and as a planner you see it as just segmented little pieces, each one of those units contains a family. And that family, there's
Right.
jobs, there's kids going to school, this and that, and it's just it kind of boggles the mind.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
We've gotten
we
some.
do, yeah,
Dave,
we have
I've gotten some calls with their.
viewer
I
questions.
see we have viewer questions. Did we put them up on? Do we have to put them up on the screen?
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. And I do
All
want to
right.
hear how the arena was today, Mike. Do you want to
Oh,
just quickly
yeah,
tell us
yeah.
a little bit about?
However you want.
Tell us a little bit about you, of course.
Well, it's being someone that's been involved with Stony Brook University and Stony Brook Medicine for more years than I want to say, to watch them go from Division III and grow to where they are now,
Yeah,
and to sit in that arena and have. I'm sorry, this is turned off and it's ringing anyway.
viewer calls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's nice to see that expansion.
Because
Right.
you walk into this arena, it's brand new, it's
Right.
beautiful, and you know they talk a little bit about the history, and the place was rocking, and it was just for the first day, just they were cutting down the
great.
hoop, and
That's
and
great.
it was just so exciting.
And it's
gonna be
all-
so much fun. It's
Everything is brand new. There's
brand
suites. There's
new.
how many?
Suites.
Do you know how many seats there are for
There
that
are, it's
now?
4,000 seats.
4,000.
And they have 4 suites and a president's suite.
Wow.
And it is just beautiful,
That's
absolutely
awesome.
beautiful. I can go back to the day when I would watch Division III and there were 40 people in the stands. And
Yeah.
there was, the place was just rocking. And so the first game is November 11th.
Getting a lot of
That is
attention
really
today.
It's gonna
awesome.
be exciting.
That is
It
exciting.
was fun to be there. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay.
No,
We're
that's
glad.
good.
Be part
I
of it. I've
mean,
been-
we're talking about the Long Island economy, and Stony Brook is a big part.
They spoke
Stony Brook
about-
Medicine, Stony Brook Hospital, Stony Brook University, that's a huge part of the Long Island
In fact,
economy right now.
Senator Lavelle
Yeah.
stood up and he said that. He's
Yeah.
been working on it for well over 25 years. And
Wow.
he said, it doesn't just help here, it helps
Right.
the entire island.
Exactly.
Definitely.
With basketball no longer, in other places on the island, I don't want to say, it's, and football being here, it's just been
Yeah.
wonderful. But thanks
This
for
is
taking me
awesome.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
You're
that's
still
very
on a
cool.
high, I can tell.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I spoke to the coach of the basketball team, and he's
Yeah.
agreed to, like Richard, to come and
Excellent.
join us. And
Oh,
Oh,
then
he's
we
a
can
great,
really
he's a
hear
great
about it.
speaker. We've had him at our company events. He's a great speaker.
actually
Yeah.
invited us to do the show there.
That's
Excellent.
awesome. Oh, I would love to do that. That sounds great. We really have to get to viewer questions, so you want to take the first question, Michael?
You see more and more young people staying on Long Island.
That's a
I
question
think
for
that's a
Rich.
question for Rich.
I agree.
Well, yes, I do. And a lot of times you're going to be told, oh, there's a brain drain. There's people just leaving. It's not really backed by statistics and demographics. The planning community has been divided on this issue for now. It seems a couple years. It seems that certain parties they just can't reach a consensus. But overall, and from my research and my experience, I find that young people are staying on the island thanks to, but the principal driver of that is jobs.
Right.
So if they have a high-paying job, they grew up on the island, they go to school, say they go to Binghamton, they come back, they're on the island. If they go to school and they're in Fairfax, Virginia, and they can't get a job on the island, they're going to stay where they can get the job.
Yeah.
So it's not so much a lack of housing, it's more of a just economic reality. It's, can they stay on the island?
Right.
Yeah. And building those like the Ronkonkoma Hub is an intelligent way to do things because they may work in the city, they may work. Now they have that direct route, plus they have a place that's brand new and thriving to live in. And,
Yeah, good point.
You know, it keeps them on the island, and they have access to the beaches and all the great things we have on the island. So it's a super thing to do. You know,
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
agree. All right, so let's take our next question. The mortgage interest rates just went down. Will they continue to? And that's from
well.
Colby. That's a question for you, I guess.
Yeah, doesn't it? It seems to come up all the time, the mortgage rates, and I think, here's my spin on the mortgage rates. I think people are trying to time the market. And if you try to time the market, you're going to lose. It's just not possible. Because by the time you've figured out that the mortgage rates have bottomed out, they've already started to go up, that's how you figured out that they've bottomed out. And then you've missed the opportunity. I can only tell you this about the mortgage rates. At some point, they do have to go up. There's
Right.
no way that the government will continue to do what they're doing. As the economy gets better, the government has to lend money for some percentage of profit, unless they continue to control Fannie and Freddie, which is a big boom for them. But if you try to time it, you're going to lose. So if you're ready to buy a house, the rates are as low as you need them to be right now to go buy the house. Will they go up? The answer is yes. Will it be this week, next week, tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now? Hard to say, but it's going to happen, and you'll miss it
No doubt.
if you wait and say, okay, I'm waiting for it to get a little bit lower or a little bit lower. It's not going to work for you. The market is
Everyone
hot.
on the other side of the camera heard that, right? We tell you guys this every week.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's great.
so that's my opinion on the rates. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on it, but Rich, I mean,
I think I think it was in August that there was around 2,300 housing units for sale, which out of that 996,000, there is a demand for real estate on the island. There always will be. So just there will
like
always be
Rich.
buyers. There will always be purchasers.
Yeah, he's
It's just-
likable.
yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So.
Now you're in our wheelhouse. We like that idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do we have any more questions? Rich, why don't you take this one?
I looked up my house on the internet and
Oh,
said
that's
the
a Michael
value
question,
was
too.
much higher than what my realtor told me. Why is that so?
Oh, gee,
That's a
I wonder
Michael
where they
question.
saw that. That information that's up on the internet is broad stroke information, and it's done from a calculation that they cannot analyze, and we all know from being Long Islanders, you can go 2 blocks, 3 blocks in any direction in your own developments, and the price will vary tremendously.
Yeah.
And so the answer is, call a realtor. After you get that number, it might be worth more, it might be worth less. However, that information, use it as a guideline, a very broad stroke guideline.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like we were talking off camera before this started. We were talking about the median sale price, which we always go crazy about.
Oh, that's
But
always-
Rich made a great point. He goes, "There's 50% above it and 50% below it." Well, pretty much that's what you get on the internet is a
Exactly.
price. You could be 50% higher than that price or 50%
And we
lower
always-
than that price.
And we always
you
pick
know.
on Newsday.
Yeah.
Newsday always puts the big headline,
Yeah.
and then they explain it in the details.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to another Newsday ad, another week or so, and we'll talk about the median
Yeah.
price again.
Good. And again, if you're interested in finding out anything about Rich and his site, thefoggiestidea.org.
Yes.
Is it?
It's a
It is a
cool
cool name. Or, of course, any real estate questions, this is just a reminder to call or text 516-702-5406. I know we have some, do we have any more questions? Okay, we do have to get to some community events, and I'd love to hear your input on events that are happening around Long Island.
What do we have?
What do we've got? There's a Mix and Mingle Friday, which is tonight. Will you be joining them? Okay, at the Graceful Rose. Where is that? Port Jefferson.
As soon as you get down the hill into Port Jefferson.
I've never been there.
It's great seafood. Really
Awesome.
good seafood. Nice place. Valet
Nice.
parking.
All right.
That's helpful
Really?
down there.
It definitely is.
that's
Okay, so
nice.
that's tonight. Happy hour from 4 to 8 p.m. and a DJ at 10. Music from the 70s and 90s, but 28 or older. So you-
70s and I got my hair ready for
70
the
through
70s
90.
already. No, I'm back in the
You
50s.
can
73 is
go.
90, sorry.
28 or older. I didn't hit that mark yet.
No. No, but your hair did.
My hair's gone way beyond that.
Okay, what else do we have? Long Island Flower Show is coming up. That sounds like something that you guys would be involved in.
Yeah, that should be beautiful. That should be really nice.
Where is it?
At the Cradle
We're not telling anybody where it is.
We're
So just
not
go to the
telling
website on
anyone.
www.
Where is that, do you know?
Long Island Flower Show.
No idea.
Yeah,
So,
just-
farming-
farming.
Just go to the
Okay.
website. Yeah, it's got the flower and home
And it's all
expo. That should
weekend.
be- yeah, that
Oh,
should be great.
sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun, and they got other things, cooking demos.
This is such a good time on Long Island for things to do.
I know.
Festivals, shows, everything.
Fall's
I
a
know.
great
Stuff.
season.
Yeah, it's super.
I think it's in
yeah.
Sayville.
We've been covering it for
This-
the last couple of weeks, and it's just great. Yeah.
In Sayville this weekend is the Apple Fest. Apple picking and Apple Fest. Well, I don't know what you could pick apples in Sayville, but right, I don't know
Maybe
anywhere.
it might be.
Maybe you know, Rich.
I think in East Northport there's a bunch of orchards, but that's, I think, as Western Suffolk as they get.
I feel like what I haven't noticed ever before, and I am figuring out today, is we should be calling Rich for any details about Long Island, including
Yeah, see
events
that?
or
He's got
giving
it.
the
Yeah.
statistics.
A rich 30 seconds.
Yeah, every
Rich's minute. Yeah, Rich's
every
minute.
week,
Yeah.
Rich's moment.
Always available.
Okay, that's good
I'm
to
everywhere.
hear.
All I'm going to do is log in and ask the question on his website, so I get the Rich answer. You
That's
know?
smart.
Yeah.
And what
That's
else do
it.
we have? We have the Fall Festival at, is it Sagticos Manor?
Reenactments of the 1700s games.
That's a beautiful
crafts.
property.
That would be a fun place. And Sunday's supposed to be really, really nice out.
Yeah, I heard from you that there's storms tomorrow.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a little rainy
So he's a
tomorrow.
weatherman.
That's right. It
He's
rained in the
everything.
1700s anyway, so it doesn't really.
He's
and
the
that's-
go-to guy.
This is for Sunday anyway, so we'll be okay. So tomorrow it rains, Sunday will be nice, and I have some fond memories of the 1700s. So, you know.
I bet you do. I thought you were going to say of the Manor House. I've never
Yeah, you
actually
live
been
in
there.
It's a British
I've never been
garrison during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
You can see where George Washington.
Oh,
There
that's
you go.
He had
awesome.
dinner with him.
George and I were old friends. Yeah.
That's
old
great.
to say the least.
All right, so everyone,
else have we
that's
got?
on Sunday. And again, special thanks to Rich for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great
We'd
stuff.
really love
Good
to hear
information.
you
We'd like
back.
to have him back again.
Certainly
Yeah.
not, and that information in that brain of yours about Long Island needs to come back here and offer some more for our
If
show.
something comes up that would be of interest,
Yeah.
that would apply to, whether we dovetail together in our businesses and you want to do it with us, we'll be happy to do it.
I look
That sounds
forward to
great.
that. Thank you.
Awesome.
I
You
got to
did.
take a real quick minute because we're a real estate company and this is a real estate show. And there was, fortunately, a tragic death of a realtor in Arkansas, I believe.
Yeah.
Beverly Carter. She made an appointment to show a house. It was a vacant house, and things didn't go well. And all I wanted to say really is to our realtor friends. First of all, our deepest sympathies goes out to her family and friends. But to all our realtor friends and our own employees who work for us at Realty Connect, just be safe, be careful, always be smart when you're out there.
And remember, tell
yeah.
somebody where you're going. Doesn't
Exactly.
matter. Tell the secretary at the front desk, text one of us, text one of your friends, text
Yeah.
to anyone, let them know where you are. And if for any reason you're uncomfortable, immediately get out of the situation or
Sure.
don't, or
Yeah.
walk away from it.
Yeah, yeah.
We do that. We
So-
talk about this all the time. But you're
Yeah.
so right, John.
Yeah.
It's more important now than ever.
So, and we'll keep Beverly in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. Stay tuned for our listings that are coming right up, right? We have some new listings. Remember, there are hundreds of more listings. These are just a few. Thousands more.
Thousands,
Rich probably has the
20,000.
statistic of. And thank you for joining us. This is Realty Connects Long Island. I'm Karin Caro with Rich Murdocco. See his site. It's thefoggiestidea.org. And Michael Artolino and John Fitzgerald. We'll see you next week, Fridays at 11:30 live. Thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Fantastic. Great show, Rich. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
If you have a real estate question, send us an email at realtyconnectsli@gmail.com or text us at 516-702-5406 and we'll answer your question live on Realty Connects Long Island. Our first listing this week is a 2-bedroom ranch on 67 Oaklawn Avenue in Farmingville, listed at $264,900. Set on a park-like property, it features a den with a wood-burning stove and tile flooring, solid oak floors in the bedrooms, and a full basement. Call David Oakley for more details at 631-533-9322. Next, we have 598 Blue Ridge Drive in Medford, priced at $267,750. It's a 3-bedroom condo with beautiful views of the golf course, includes a master bedroom complete with a large walk-in closet and plenty of updates throughout. For more information, contact Rose Pinto at 631-706-4542. Dorothy Mezek has this next new listing on 25 Wheeler Place in Northport, on for $399,000. The 4-bedroom cape boasts hardwood floors under carpets, a screened-in porch, and is close to shopping, the library, the harbor, and the LIRR. Dorothy can be reached at 631-223-7763. Here we have a new listing in Centereach on 20 Tarpon Lane, priced at $329,000. This colonial is priced to sell, with a formal living room and formal dining room, an eat-in kitchen with a breakfast nook, and a huge den for entertaining. Call Cynthia Durand at 631-881-5175. We move to Port Jefferson Station for our next new listing on 21 Evergreen Avenue, listed for $489,900. With 2,700 square feet of living space, it offers a master bedroom suite with a walk-in closet and private bath, granite kitchen and baths, stainless steel appliances, and more. Contact Paul Musso today at 631-881-5164. The next listing up is 7 East Court in Babylon, on for $509,000. This is a 2-story waterfront property with a living room, dining room, huge master bedroom, and a double deck for great views of the bay. Updates include windows and sliding glass doors. Call Joseph Martinez today at 631-881-5514. Jim Smith has this next property listed for $549,900 at 3 Parkview Lane in Lake Grove. Set on a large property, this Victorian-style home has a large deck with a patio and an in-ground pool, hardwood floors throughout on the first floor, and a huge full basement with a 2-car garage attached. Call Jim today at 631-881-4623. 2 Castle Court in Nesconset is another one of our new listings. This one, priced at $679,999, sits on a corner lot in a cul-de-sac and features an updated eat-in kitchen with stainless steel appliances, a family room with French doors, and a heated in-ground pool. call Christine Fitzpatrick at 631-440-5410. Here we have a beautiful colonial on 27 O'Hara Place in Huntington, on for $699,000. So many features throughout, including hardwood floors, in-ground sprinklers, central air conditioning, Trex decking, and it's close to the village, parks, and beaches. Call Carolyn McDonald today at 631-350-7221. Our last listing for the day is a stunning waterfront colonial at 329 Dolphin Lane in West Babylon. Located in a quiet cul-de-sac, it includes a 205-foot navy bulkhead with a wide canal, a gourmet kitchen with stainless steel appliances and a sub-zero refrigerator, and an 18 by 36 in-ground pool. For more details, call Christine DeVito at 631-343-2403. Contact a Realty Connect USA agent today. Connected to over 20,000 available listings on Long Island. If there's a home out there for you, we'll find it.